Mafia revenge. Love across enemy lines. Arya Mehra never asked to wear the crown, especially not one laced with blood. The Mehra Syndicate, her father's empire, ruled Mumbai's underworld with an iron fist for 3 decades. She'd escaped that life, carving out a peaceful existence as an art curator in Milan for herself. She painted in solitude, ran exhibitions, and lost herself in colors instead of gunpowder and blood. But when her father, Devraj Mehra, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, everything changed. The empire began to rot. Loyalists started sniffing for power. Old enemies circled like wolves, and the underworld buzzed with rumors of succession. The once mighty throne needed a new heir. "You're the only one they'll follow," her father whispered, barely able to speak. "They fear you, more than they ever feared me." Fear wasn't a crown, but as sure as hell was a start. She returned home not in mourning, but in armor. Her blood-red sari flowed like a warning. Her stilettos clacked against marble like bullets. But she didn't expect him to be waiting. Zain Raichand, her greatest love, her deepest regret, and now her most dangerous rival. 5 years ago, their love was reckless, secret, even intoxicating. Arya and Zain, the children of rival empires, drawn together by rebellion and raw hunger. They'd meet in back alleys, in safe houses, in art galleries, and even hotel rooftops. Their love was a fire no water could put out. One stolen weekend in Goa, they locked themselves in a beach villa for 48 hours straight. No guards, no phones, just them, sand and skin, whispers in the dark. Zain had traced every inch of her body with kisses, memorizing her curves like scriptures. She had whispered poems against his chest, feeling his heart beat under her palm, like it was the only truth left in the world. "I'd burn everything down for you," he had murmured. "Then we'd both burn together," she replied. But then came the betrayal. Parth, Devraj's enforcer, brought Arya intel. Zain had been feeding info to a foreign cartel, her father's enemies, the ones responsible for her cousin's death. She didn't want to believe it, but the timing, the clues, the fear, as much as it killed her, they all added up. And so she left. She left him a note. "I can't let you die because of me," and vanished. Zain was gutted. He searched every nook and corner of the city, bribed officials, called in favors, kicked down doors. She'd become a ghost, simply vanished into thin air. Zain had never forgiven her. And now, the boy she loved was a man forged in vengeance. He had taken over his father's cartel and turned it into a global powerhouse. When Arya returned, he was no longer the lovesick boy she'd left behind. He was a king in his own right, and he had come for vengeance. A warehouse full of Mehra weapons was torched. A red rose left behind, burned at the edges. 3 loyal captains defected. The message was clear. "He's not trying to break your business," said Rehan. "He's trying to break you." Arya poured herself a drink. "Then let's make sure we break him first." They met again at a gala thrown by a Turkish syndicate. Neutral ground, or so they claimed. Arya entered in crimson, her neckline sharp as her cheekbones, her eyes daring anyone to test her. Zain stood across the ballroom in obsidian black, sipping whiskey like it owed him answers. Their eyes locked. The world paused. He walked towards her slowly, like he had all the time in the world to break her. "Still dressing in red to haunt me? Still showing up when you're not invited?" Their banter was a blade sharpened by memory. Later that night, he came again, into her penthouse, into her world like he'd never left. "Nice to see the princess back in her palace," he said, eyes scanning her slowly. "And the devil back in his kingdom," she replied. The conversation was calm, the tension volcanic. "I should kill you," she said, eyes on the city lights. "But you won't," he whispered, stepping behind her, "because you still want me." Their kiss was a war, urgent, angry, desperate. Clothes dropped like confession, the bedroom lit only by moonlight and the fire inside them. He pushed her up against the glass wall, the city sprawling beneath her. She wrapped her legs around him, pulling him closer like he was the only thing keeping her from falling. "I hate you," she gasped between kisses. "Feelings mutual, madam," he growled and thrust into her. They moved like addicts, drunk on the past, starving for the present. But in the morning, he was gone. And so was her diamond-studded USB drive with encrypted trade records. The war had officially begun. They struck at each other like titans. Zayn leaked footage of Arya bribing a corrupt politician, footage that nearly sank her political protection. Arya retaliated by exposing a money laundering trail leading to Zayn's claim front in Dubai. He sent triggering an international warrant. She drank it. He crashed through her bedroom door hours later with an antidote, furious. Why the hell would you drink something from me? She grinned weakly. Because if I'm going down, it's going to be in style. But even then he didn't leave. He sat beside her as she slept off the toxins, held her hair when she vomited, wiped her mouth, and when she woke, their lips met again. This time slower, sadder. Regret clung to their skin like sweat. The sheets tangled around them as they clung to a feeling they could never name. Rehan finally did what no one else could. He found the original recordings, the real betrayal. Zayn had never betrayed Arya. Parth forged the evidence. He wanted Zayn dead, eliminated as a threat to Devraj's legacy. Worse, Devraj knew. But letting Arya believe the lie was his way of keeping her loyal, safe, and in control. When Arya confronted her father on his deathbed, he didn't deny it. I did what I had to do, he rasped. Love is weakness. No, she whispered. It's the only reason I ever had any strength. She didn't cry. She simply picked up the phone and called Zayn. Chapter 6, Flames and Farewells. Zayn had taken Rehan. Arya didn't hesitate. She stormed the compound herself, leading her men with calculated fury. Bullets flew, men dropped, screams and fire filled the air, and then she found him. Zayn, gun in one hand, her ring in the other. You still wear it? He said bitterly. I never took it off, she whispered. He looked like he wanted to shoot her to death, or kiss her to death. Instead, he dropped the gun. I wanted you to suffer, he said. I wanted to ruin you. And did you? She asked, voice shaking. He shook his head. I only ruined myself. Their lips met again, but this time the kiss was more surrender than seduction. That night, they stayed together, not in rage, not in revenge, just silence, soft breaths, tangled limbs. I never stopped loving you, he whispered against her skin. I know, she said, tracing circles on his chest. That's what makes it hurt more. Arya made her final move. She met with the authorities, signed over everything, routes, evidence, financials. She turned herself in on the condition Zayn's name would be wiped clean. He tried to stop her, stormed the hearing, bribed the judges, threatened officials, but it was done. He found her behind the glass wall, chained. You think this fixes us? He asked, voice ragged. No, she said. But maybe it proves that I never stopped loving you. He slammed his fist against the glass. She simply placed her hand over his. Epilogue, The Return. 5 years later, Milan. Zayn walked into a sun-drenched art gallery tucked in the old quarter of the city. The space was quiet except for the gentle hum of string music and the patter of tiny footsteps beside him. A little girl clutched his hands tightly. Her other arm wrapped around a well-worn stuffed lion. She had dark curls like his and eyes that mirrored Arya's, sharp, curious, impossibly soulful. She couldn't have been more than 4. Her name was Ira. She was born in prison. The announcement of her arrival was heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. Zayn Rajan's first child was going to be born in prison. The love of his life wouldn't have him by her side at all times during her most vulnerable time. He did everything he could to guarantee her safety and comfort in prison, but nothing he did felt like enough. Although Arya assured him that she was well and healthy, he made sure to visit her every day. Ira was born a healthy, beautiful baby with her mother's eyes and father's smile. The feeling of fatherhood hit Zayn like a truck. The intensity of emotions overwhelmed him like never before. He had to not only be her father, but also her mother until Arya came out. Now he held Ira's hand like a lifeline. The gallery was alive with color, war, and love and fire etched in every brushstroke. Each painting was a memory, a wound, a healing, and at the center stood Arya. Not in armor, not in red, just Arya, dressed in soft linen, her hair loosely tied, a smear of paint on her cheek. When she looked up and saw them, her breath hitched. Their eyes met, and the ears collapsed. Zayn felt his chest tighten. This was the woman who had destroyed him and saved him in the same breath. The woman who gave him a daughter, a future. Took you long enough, she said, her voice steady but eyes shimmering. He didn't speak. Couldn't speak. He crossed the room in 3 long strides and pulled her into him. His lips found hers, not with heat, but with homecoming. It wasn't lust. It wasn't war. It was finally peace. Ira giggled, hugging her lion tighter. Arya knelt down, scooped Ira into her arms, and kissed her temple, her chubby cheeks, her button nose, with tears streaming down her face. "Oh, my baby," she cooed. Zane stood behind them, arms wrapping around both. No lies, no war, just home. The end. Thank you for watching. For more such stories, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.